Alrighty, guys. So I pulled your healing message for the collective for the new moon in Aries, and this is what we got. So we have the awakening crystal, emotional healing. We got moonstone cycles, and then we got fairy stone fertility. So first one I want to hit on is this emotional healing. I know we just came out of retrograde in Pisces earlier in the year. We had a moon in Cancer, and then we had another moon before this, new moon in Aquarius that was in Pisces. A lot of water energy, and we know that can have a play on our emotions. So when we go over to for these to land together, our emotional healing and the cycles, what have you been noticing that during certain moon phases, certain times of your life, certain seasons, certain emotions that are being triggered? It's time to figure out the root of that trigger. And I know I kind of put the brakes on doing shadow work in the group because I'm working on a few things, but there are a few prompts in the group for those of you that are in the Learning Grounds group on some things that continuously to pop up of how to get to the root of them, so that way you're not constantly triggered by whatever is setting you off to be in your emotions. So sometimes I know there is such thing as seasonal depression, and so I don't know why seasonal depression came up. So that just threw me off. So again, there is such thing as seasonal depression. But when you notice that if you are getting depressed, if you are getting anxious, if you're having those times where everything is just like you just feel like your emotions have exploded like a volcano, like it's just, I'm sorry, I'm saying what I'm seeing in my head. Like I feel like there's this volcano and like all the emotions are just coming out, like this rage and the jealousy and the envy and the hurt and pain, and it's just overflowing. I feel like this is specifically for a group or for someone. You've kept so much stuff buried, and then it's like when you explode, you don't know how to deal, and then the people around you don't know how to deal. And this may be a cycle where this may happen every few months or during a certain time of the year where you have one of these explosions. This is the time to really sit down and take a look at why is this happening? Why is this flood of emotions? And one thing that I am going to say is for people that are having these floods of emotions, and it's just coming out like a volcano, like it's just spilling over, you can't contain it, is to go to a therapist, have someone you can confide in and talk to, having divinations done on how to do certain things and move during certain times of your walk, of your path. Doing the shadow work. Yes, shadow work sucks. Believe me, I know. But it's something that needs to be done because in this time, as we're integrating a new system, new energy, new beliefs, we have to integrate that shadow with our higher selves. We can't all just be high up in the ethers all the time. There has to be a balance of our light and dark, our yin and yang. Like there has to be an integration of our shadow self. So what also with this fertility card is the birth of something new. We're all watching what's going on in the world right now. And we're watching old systems break down, new systems and ideas being mentioned or entered in. And I feel like the same thing is going on in our lives as well. That we need to integrate a new way I'm getting tongue tied. A new way of thinking. So to end these cycles, this emotional battle that you're going through, maybe there needs to be a new way that you look at healing, a new way of doing shadow work to birth something new, because this emotional volcano, this spillage, this just emotional vomit that's going on, I feel like it's a hindrance. And this is why this fell on the bottom of these and the other two on the top. It's blocking. the birth of something new. And sometimes, not sometimes, when we getting ready for change, this is when we meet that death card and that tower card. Something needs to be put to an end, or something needs to transform. Something needs to completely wiped out. And I feel like this cycle has to come to an end. I feel like it's a blockage because these two landed on top of this one. So whatever is emotionally holding you back, that's causing problems in your life, that's a constant cycle. It pops up every so often when it's triggered. It's blocking you from a blessing, pretty much. The birthing of something new is what I'm getting from these cards. So it's time to stop running. It's time to address the emotions, why you're feeling that way, why you're triggered by certain things. It's time to sit down and address it. There's no more running. Because it's going to have to come a time to where something new needs to be birthed. Something old has to die away. And I feel like even with what the earth's going through, we're going through in our lives. It's time to push old systems, old thoughts, old way of doing things out of the way. So these things are going to keep coming up in order for you to address them and move them out of your life. This emotional healing has to take place. It's not something that you're going to continuously be able to put on hold. It's not going to work well because I feel like this is holding whatever it is that you have to birth. This cycle keeps holding this up because this is not something that you're focused on. You're focused on this. You're focused on why you're feeling that way. You're focused on that trigger. You're focused on something that happened years ago, last week, the other day, that now has you in your feelings, and you can't birth whatever this is for you. So guys, shadow work. I know you don't want to hear shadow work. A lot of people don't want to hear shadow work. You don't like it. But shadow work, it's time to let go of these old beliefs. It's time to let go of the old thoughts. It's time to let go of the old systems. It's time to let go of old rituals that no longer suit you. It's time to let go of just old routines. That's what I feel like this reading is. Everything that no longer suits you, that keeps coming back up in cycles, is for a reason. They want you to, your spirit team, universe, whoever, wants you to address this head on. This is not something that you can, okay, you know what? I don't want to deal with this today. It's not going to pan out well. And then you're not going to be able to birth what you really need in this new season. Springtime, new energy. So guys, those were your new moon messages and your healing new moon messages. So I hope you guys have a good day, and I will talk to you later.